Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna Tashton. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna Tashton.
Welcome to podcast 47. Today my guest is Lorrenna Black. She is a veteran who has accomplished some amazing things in her life. So I am excited for you to hear her story. And stay tuned at the end. I do have a gift and some other resources for you. So let's step over and hear that conversation. Well, welcome to the podcast. And I am excited today for my guest, Lorrenna Black. Say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Donna. Thank you so much for having me here today.
I have been looking forward to this one. I have recently got to connected with you through Inforum, and I was looking at all you accomplished, and to me, it's quite amazing. But you didn't start there. So where did you grow up? And tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I grew up in Vancouver, Washington, which most people automatically think Canada when I say Vancouver, but it's right on the border of Portland, Oregon, and Washington.
Okay. And just go ahead, tell more.
Yeah, so I was raised by a single mother who my mom had 6 kids. I am smack in the middle. I'm the oldest of the younger ones that were at home. And my mom was fantastic. Life itself wasn't always fantastic. I learned at an early age that there are evil people in the world, and there is a lot of evil in the world. I grew up dealing a little bit with some physical abuse from my stepfather and witnessed a family member sexually assaulted when I was about 8 years old. So those early years were a little rough, but my mother was a fantastic woman who always put her children first and always just, taught us we could be anything we wanted and accomplish anything that we wanted to. So I'm really grateful for that part of my upbringing.
So were you called a leader and everything as a child?
No, I was not. I was actually called a wallflower on more than one occasion. That's why when I decided to join the Army when I was 18, it threw a lot of people in my family off. I even have one of my cousins said, Lorena can't join the Army. She's too nice to join the Army. And so it was a big surprise. And I had a lot of people that didn't think that I was going to succeed. Not necessarily in my family. My family's always been supportive, but early leaders I had in the military said I wasn't going to make it very far. I wouldn't make it past my first term. So I'm really proud to be sitting at 23 years in the Army now and showing them that they were wrong. And, I definitely did make it.
That's always fun to show them they were wrong.
Yes.
So what made you join the Army? You're this quiet child and withdrawn somewhat is what I'm picking up you're saying. And so what made you choose the Army?
I have this funny thing about my personality. So I couldn't even say withdrawn because it's weird. I wanted to be an actress, but I was shy. So I had this really weird, so I always had something in me, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I had found myself out of getting ready to come out of high school or coming out of high school. I was an overweight teenager. The Army or military was not on my radar in any format, but neither really was college because I was scared of the idea of college, taking the SATs, applying for college. I didn't know how to really go about all of that. And so I found myself in a time where I was quitting a lot of jobs. I've been working ever since I was 11. I started babysitting. 15, I had my first job at Dairy Queen. So for as long as I could remember, I had jobs, but I got to a point where I was quitting a lot. Anytime something got hard or scary, I would quit. And so when I met my Army recruiter at one of my jobs I'd had that year, and he presented something to me that was scary and new and a challenge, but wrapped in all of that was something I couldn't quit. So I went home and my mom was like, I don't think so. But she knew it was just something, an opportunity. And my older sibling's father had been in the Navy for 32 years. So he was all about it. And even my dad had served earlier for a couple of years, and my stepmom had been in the Air Force. So those things were in my head when I decided I wanted to do it. And so I did it.
Wow. And 23 years. So what did that look like? Was everything smooth sailing?
Oh, absolutely not. So my first duty station, basic training was hard for me because, like I had said, in high school, I had been an overweight teenager and I had lost weight shortly before I went off to basic training. So the physical aspect of things was really hard. But the one thing about me is I don't like to quit and I don't like to fail. So I pushed really hard, and it took me longer to hit milestones than it did other people, but I just kept pushing and I kept trying. And then at about, after my first duty station, I decided I wanted to extend so I could go to Germany. And that's where I met the father of my children. And I had 2 daughters that are now 13 and 12. And unfortunately I shouldn't say unfortunately, actually, because my current husband is fantastic, but that relationship didn't work out. And I got divorced, and it was me and my daughters for a long time. And it is very hard to be a single mom in the Army. I can tell you the early years of their life were spent me getting them up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting them dressed while they're sleeping, brushing their teeth, getting them in my car, standing at daycare before they open at 5:30 in the morning so I can rush and make it to a meeting that starts at 6 before our physical training started. And it was just a Groundhog's Day. We just did that a lot. I was fortunate that I only had to leave my kids for one deployment. I know a lot of people that had to leave several times. I did leave them a lot for training and stuff like that. And so I missed a lot, but I also got to take them to Korea. They got to live with me over there, and they have a lot of experiences, and they're very resilient because of that. But the Army was challenging. But I've loved it. It's been great for me. It took me from where I was and where I grew up and allowed me to get to where I am today. So I will forever be grateful for the Army.
Yeah, it helps bring out of you what's already really in there, because you wanted to be an actor. So there was a part of you that wanted to be in the front, but you didn't believe you had the ability to do that. And it does help. And the military provides training that nothing else really does the same way, and develops you as a leader, or it identifies that you're not pretty quick. Even people who don't think they can lead at some capacity.
Yeah.
So are you in the reserves now? Is that?
I am. So I spent 21 years on active duty, and 2 years ago I transitioned to the reserves just to finish out my career so I could get my daughter settled before we entered middle school and high school. And they were tired of moving. So this allowed me to do that for them.
So how'd you end up in Grand Rapids?
So I'm actually in Berkeley, which is closer to Detroit.
Okay, that's right.
And that's okay. And I ended up here because I met my current husband in the military and fell in love with him. And he's from here. And so it was just a natural thing for me to move here once I was done with active duty. And I love it. I've lived here 3 years in August, and it's been great.
So what are you doing now?
So now I work for Inforum, Michigan. I am their VP of Leadership Development. And I don't know if all your listeners are familiar with Inforum, but we are a nonprofit here in Michigan that our whole mission is to accelerate women in their careers. And it is fantastic and amazing, and I love everything about it and just what we are doing for women. It's just awesome.
It has been a phenomenal organization for me. I totally agree with you. I have loved, and there is amazing women in Inforum. Yeah. It just is amazing. And getting to know these amazing women has just been, but all of you listeners know what I feel about women. So I just think they're amazing, and I love being an encouragement to them. So, and what is your role in Inforum?
So I am in charge of all of our leadership development programs. So we have our ascending to the C-suite, executive leadership, genuine leadership presence. Next up, we basically have a program for each level that women are at in their career, each stage. And I am responsible for that. I am also responsible for our Next for Vets program, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, tell me
which
more.
Is, that one focuses on female veterans that are transitioning, or maybe they have transitioned, but it helps them find their voice in corporate America and translate their military skills to what they'll be doing.
I didn't know about that one. That is great.
Yeah.
It is trying to translate what they did, their MO to civilian life is a big deal. So my son was in the Army and my husband was in the Air Force. So I have military in my family. My son did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Yeah. So, and I was glad when he got out.
Well, I know that's hard, as a mom, that's gotta be just.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. And he wasn't one staying on the fob. He was one out in the battle. So yes.
Yeah,
it was challenging, but we have the military to be so appreciative to what they do. Most people don't really think about it and have a clue. I remember when he was deployed, being angry at people complaining about, the couch not being right or the cable not working, or, I couldn't get takeout today or something. And I'm just like, but we just don't realize all that they sacrifices that they made, and even the sacrifices you made, loving and caring for your children. And so it's amazing. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. I was guilty of something like that when it came to my kids. So when I'd hear people talk about, my kid's gone for their first weekend, or I don't get to see my kid for a few days, I'd always be like, really? I was so much time, but that's not fair, because I also made that choice.
It isn't really fair, but you think it. Because it's a big deal to them. But,
yes, absolutely.
So, it is really fair. But so, who's been a major influence in your life?
My older sister. She is a huge one. She's the one at the top of my list, because she is a woman who, at a very young age, went through hell. And she never let it define her. She never let it limit her. She was the first of my mother's children to earn a degree, which then inspired me, to pass her up, of course, but she's amazing. She is really, we lost our mom in 2004. The year before that, she lost her dad. And so she took care of her dad. She took care of our mom. I was stationed in Germany at the time, so I couldn't be there. And she doesn't complain. She doesn't quit. She's just an awesome, amazing woman. And my whole life, I've always just used her to emulate what I wanted to be and how I wanted to treat people, and just everything about her is fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing her with us and that. So if you were to think about, as we kind of get up to the time mark here, women listening that may have had labels put on them, may had rough, darker times growing up, and they're still hitting those walls, maybe on the inside. What encouragement, what would you tell them?
Just to steal the title of your series is You Were Designed for Greatness. Greatness is in every one of us. It's in me, it's in you, it's in all of us. You just have to believe that, and you have to dig deep and just don't quit. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, but keep pushing and just really just believe in yourself. My husband, he's helped me with this. He says to me, he's like, let yourself be great, because you are. Like, it's okay to want to win. It's okay to want to be great. You don't have to be ashamed of that or feel like you can't do it. So that's the advice that I will share with everybody else. Let yourself be great, because you are.
Because you are. Yay! I love that one. And you can't see me on the podcast, but I was cheering. Oh, thank you very much for being with us here today and sharing some of your story. If people are interested in finding out about Inforum or some of the support and leadership training and support that Inforum has, how would they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, Lorena Black, or they can email me lblack@inforummichigan.org, and I'll answer any questions or help direct in any way that I can.
Awesome. That sounds fabulous. Again, thank you for being with us today and sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Donna. This has been great.
I love that. Let yourself be great because you are. Is exactly what this podcast is called. You were designed for greatness. Let me say that again. Let yourself be great because you are. And if you are in doubt of that in any way, the resource, the free gift I would like to give you today is a complimentary coaching session with me that you can help you to discover the greatness that maybe you feel like is hiding inside. So you can schedule online, get in touch with me through my website and different social media. It's iVibrantLiving.com. and click on the Schedule Online tab. You can choose a clarity call or a strategy session, and the only difference is the length of time that we would have to talk. I also want to let you know about my mastermind. If you are an entrepreneur or you have a dream or goal that you want to do more, you say, I don't know how to do more, or I want more than I'm currently experiencing. I have a mastermind called Maximize Your Brilliance to help you shine. The benefits of a mastermind are astronomical. And so you can also visit at my website, the Maximize Your Brilliance tab, and instantly watch a webinar that explains what this is and how it works. Check it out today. I look forward to spending time with you next time. Feel free to share this podcast with people you love. And always, this is Donna saying live and love vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashjian or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.